Damn, son, where'd you find this?
They disappear and they don't come back.
You're listening to Built to Spill live on KEXP. It's connected to the problem that I won't take.
let you go to sleep. Feeling bad is me. Let you go to sleep. Feeling bad. There's a meaning behind it's connected to the problem. Won't take for an answer. Won't take that from you. Because I'm a fly.
Woohoo! Built to Spill live on KEXP. God forbid I start talking in the middle of a song during a quiet moment.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna keep trying, keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. Well, now it's been watching it's over. This song in my head, and I'm feeling like it's starting to slip away. It was only a dream, but I still felt good. Spent a little time being something mattered, and I wanna tell you something. I got nothing to say. I'm gonna keep trying, keep trying. I got a chance. I'm gonna keep trying. Just a dream. Just 'cause I'm asleep. Just a dream. No one else can see. Just a dream. Just a dream. I'm gonna keep trying. If I keep trying, I'm never gonna make it. I'm gonna keep trying. Fools gonna be rich for a little while, rich for a little while, rich for a little while. Fools gonna be rich for a little while.
You're listening to Built to Spill live on KEXP, the new album When the Wind Forgets Your Name. Built to Spill live on KEXP. Thank you so much for coming in today. It is so great to hear you live always.
Thanks for having us.
I love hearing the new songs, but always great to hear the old faves. And it's so fun to hear you play something from Ultimate Alternative Waivers. When I was a new DJ at KCMU back in the early 90s, we put a little white label at the bottom of the spine of every CD that was local so that we could quickly identify all the local music and we claim you as local. And it covered the word waivers for a very embarrassingly long amount of time. I thought your debut full length was called Ultimate Alternative. And I used to say that when I would play it all the time. Every time I was on the air, I played it. And it's funny because no one ever called me out. I'm thinking they probably thought I was just so cool that I had sort of like a slang for it.
That's what we call it, yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we just call it Ultimate Alternative. And then it was actually when I bought my own copy that I realized that it was called Ultimate Alternative Waivers, and I was mortified, but no one ever called me out on it. I love it. But I mean, jump ahead 29 years. You've got a new album coming out on Sub Pop Records, and When the Wind Forgets Your Name. That's a very forlorn title.
Yep.
I wouldn't want the wind to forget my name.
Yeah, it is. Correct.
Doug, since the inception of Built to Spill, you have worked with a wide variety of musicians, and it's really allowed you to work with so many talented people over almost 30 years. And I would love it if you could introduce these amazing musicians that are playing with you today, because you are rocking it.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. On bass is Melanie Radford.
Hi.
Hi.
On drums is Teresa Esguerra.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. You said that it inspires you to play with musicians that bring in new varieties and styles. And what does this current lineup inspire you? How does that inspire you? What does it bring to the playing and the songs?
Well, these guys are maybe the hardest rockers that I've ever played with. When we were rehearsing, getting ready to, play these songs live, I was like, you guys need to bring it down a little bit. You guys are just a little too heavy for me. But we found a point where we met each other, and they're have a lot of energy and they play hard.
They do. You all bring it. And for a little while, for a spell, you were playing as a 5-piece. Does it challenge you more to be a 3-piece now? I mean, you've done that before, obviously, but
yeah, it is challenging. As the 5-piece. Especially because, Jim and Brett were just such amazing guitar players. I could kind of barely play, and it was all good, They could, they could cover everything. So, when we first started playing without them, I spent a lot of time figuring out what I was going to do, and some things that I'd have to practice singing and playing along with that I wasn't really able to.
Well, they're going to be loving that new record pretty soon. The songs I've heard are so great. And I heard that you worked on a lot of this record by yourself. Was that something you wanted to do from the outset, or maybe just something that our current times dictated? Yeah,
well, so 2019, I Built to Spill toured with these Brazilian guys. And then at the end of the trip, they recorded their drums and bass, and the plan was to just make the record on a computer and just do it at home. The first time I hadn't gone into a studio to record a record, and so that was the plan. And ended up, but the plan was also to, mix it with those guys. But they ended up getting stuck in Brazil, and I was stuck alone, and kind of worked out. I wish I would have been able to work with them a little bit more on it, but at least I was kind of prepared.
Was it a fun challenge, or you think you want to maybe have more people around if you can in future?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy recording by myself too much and engineering it myself. I didn't really have too much confidence in my engineering skills, but it turned out all right. And it's fun to just be around people and bounce ideas off them, and if something cool happens, there's someone besides your cat to get excited with.
Don't be dissing on the cat. I'm sure they got great advice for you there in the studios. Well, you employed the comic Alex Graham to work on the most amazing, colorful, psychedelic cover art for this record, and I know that you're a comic fan, and I'm curious what it is that drew you to Alex's work and how you came upon the beautiful cover that is on this new record.
Yeah, during the 2020, I was reading I kind of just stumbled on her Instagram comic, dog biscuits, and I just loved it and was riveting and thought she was such a great drawer. And it also just kind of spoke to me on a lot of different levels. It's kind of a complex story with a lot of storylines and characters, and just really was like my favorite thing going on during the pandemic. And then I just sort of thought, well, maybe she would be maybe I could reach out to her and see if she would be interested in doing stuff, because she also paints, and also wanted to have some artwork that kind of juxtaposed the sort of pretentious title of the record, serious title. So I thought something kind of silly and colorful would kind of tone down that When the Wind Forgets Your Name title a little bit. And then, I reached out to her, and it was a complete joy to work with her. She pretty much did everything she wanted to do, and she'd check with me, and I'd be like, yeah, just do it, go with whatever. And she'd send some ideas over, and like, looks great. She'd ask if I had any opinions, and I'd say no. And so it's really just her doing it all.
I love it. Just let the artists do their work.
Yeah.
It worked out great.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Well, speaking of the visuals, the video for Fool's Gold is so funny. I just can't watch it without totally cracking up, and I've watched it so many times. That had to have been so much fun to make.
It was, and again, it's just another talented person that I've been lucky enough to meet, and that willing to loan their talents to the band. And that's Jordan Minkoff. I met him in his band Slam Dunk years ago, and he's made Built to Spill's last 4 videos, I guess. A couple videos from the last record and a couple from this record, and he's working on a new one. And same thing, just say, hey, I want a video, and I do whatever he tells me to do, and I trust him completely, and he's a pretty funny guy.
Well, I don't know how anyone kept a straight face while making that video.
It really was a fun couple of days. Pretty amazingly fun and easy.
Well, this band has meant so much to so many people, especially to us here in the Pacific Northwest. And your home base of Boise is a big story behind the band. And then now, nearly 30 years later, you're releasing a record on the legendary, iconic label Sub Pop Records. How does that feel?
It's great. Yeah, it's amazing. There's sort of that storyline of, I started making music. My band Tree People, before Built to Spill, started around the same time as Sub Pop, and it was kind of it was a pretty important label to us, and bands on there. And our friend Tad was on the label, and our friend Chris Taquino, who put out our second record, was affiliated with them, and I had a couple friends that worked there and stuff. And so, and then now, it's a different label than it was back then, but amazing, great people, a few friends that work there, and everyone that I've met that works there has been incredible, and everyone's pretty excited, and it's just sweet.
Huge fans
really
of the
nice.
band, I know.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I feel really lucky.
Well, we're always so eager to have you stop by KEXP and perform live, and we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary this year, and you've been a part of that story for over half of our existence. And what does the support of independent radio stations like KEXP, formerly KCMU, mean to a band that you've done a lot of it yourself along the way, been really DIY, and that's sort of our credo too. Mm-hmm. And we've built something that we're pretty proud of over many, many years, and you've been a big part of that. What does the support of stations like KEXP mean to a band like yours?
It means a lot. I remember moving to Seattle, in '89 and listening to, was it called something different back then?
KCMU?
Yeah, KCMU, exactly. Listening to it all the time, and I remember hearing our single being played and how exciting that was. And I have a lot of friends in Boise and family members in the Midwest that listen to KEXP all the time. It's really important. And we have a community radio station in Boise that's started up a few years ago, and been involved in that. I was a DJ for a while, and just community people coming together and volunteering. I listen to that all the time as well. So Yeah, it's really important to me.
I've been down to the Treefort Music Festival, and I love how engaged and involved you are in your local community. It's like you're the Boise House Band.
Totally, yeah. There's so much cool stuff going on there and cool people. That festival is amazing, and there's a really pretty unbelievable amount of great bands there right now. And yeah, I'm just a music fan. I don't really do anything. I don't work. I don't do too much to help other than pick a couple bands that I like. But yeah.
Well, it's really fun to go down there because I know you're just a normal guy who's super talented at songwriting and performing, but people get so excited to just see you out in the crowd enjoying music in the small clubs and out in the audience. And it's really neat to have the fans and the musicians come together like that just for the pure joy and love of music.
Yeah, there's a lot of people pretty excited to see you walking around there too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, on that note, I want to thank you so much for bringing these wonderful musicians to the KEXP studio. It's such a joy to see you play always live, and we're so honored that you took the time to stop by, and so excited about the new album coming out on Sub Pop September 9th, When the Wind Forgets Your Name.
Thanks. Yeah, we feel the same way. This is something all three of us have been pretty excited about for a long time.
Well, thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you out there on the stage. I know whenever you come to town, everybody knows it's a show not to be missed, and it's really evident how much you all enjoy performing live.
Sweet to hear.
You've got it tuned to KEXP. We are listener-powered radio. I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for supporting this public radio station. If you want to find out more about KEXP, you can go to kexp.org and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can discover so much great live music. You can get lost down a rabbit hole. I want to thank Built to Spill so much for joining us here live on KEXP. Yippee! That was fun! Yay! Oh, you sound so amazing.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?